Should have saw Terminator.
Should have saw our Arctic Dogs again.
Should have saw Dr. Sleep.
I've seen Dr. Sleep. That was a better movie than this. I like that there's 4 movies out this week, and I already did see Dr. Sleep. But of the ones that are getting like preview screen tonight, I could really only see one since we're doing the Grand Rapids Con this weekend. So looking at the movies that came out, there's Last Christmas, Midway, maybe something else. I'm like, I know the audience wants us to see Playing with Fire. That's the top priority, even if I hadn't seen Dr. Sleep, clearly.
And for our sins, they gave us a review.
And we weren't the only ones in the theater either.
You fucking people.
After
we were one of like maybe 15 in there.
Something like that, yeah. After I think we were the only ones who went to go see Arctic Dogs because it set a record for like lowest opening of a movie in 2,800 theaters. Arctic Dogs
Put that on the DVD box as well. I think this sums it up nicely.
Uh-huh.
The first 20 minutes of that movie, you remember when I turned to you and I'm like, have you heard a single laughter out of these people yet? Like a single, and like there was nothing. And then slowly but surely, you would hear like a couple of old ladies laugh. Like it was clearly grandparents with their kids.
Yeah.
Kids weren't laughing that much. And then slowly the kids would get a few laughs. I'm like, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
The Stockholm is setting in. Well, it's not going to get any better. May as well pretend I like
Might as
this.
well let these fires consume us. My favorite part of the movie was when it was the Paramount logo in front of it and the Nickelodeon Studios logo. Some other ones too. You and I were sitting there just going like hand in hand, like Thelma and Louise at the end of the movie, driving
Over the
off
cliff!
Like we got this, and then the first second of the movie,
We lost our shit.
It literally, in the first second, when it opens with an establishing shot of the forest and this fire, but then the soundtrack is do 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 don't believe it, George Watch, and our heads sank like we knew exactly what the next 96 minutes were going to be in this film.
Even then, though, it kind of blew my mind for how bad it was. This was actually worse than I thought it was going to be, and I thought, like, this looks awful.
Yeah.
But it's a level of bad I didn't think, like, this is worse than Arctic Dogs.
Dude, yeah, oh yeah, Arctic Dogs didn't open with a giant forest fire while playing Uptown Funk. Oh my god, this was a kind of bad. Like, this is a throwback bad, because I'm going to tell you exactly what this movie reminded me of. Like, okay, this movie is tropes in a bad comedy and a style of bad comedy I haven't really seen since like 1996, because it felt
like a late 90s, like that mid to late 90s in particular.
Because I'll tell you exactly what this movie is. It's bushwhacked.
It is. Bushwhacked.
Yes.
No,
it is that same movie.
It is that level of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both set out in the great outdoors. No, that's
kind of the same climax.
That's what. I don't even know how to do this review because there's so much random shit to, but that's what blew my mind for a movie that had so much fire in it.
Yeah.
That the climax was like this. I mean, spoiler alert. like kids are like dangling off a cliff in a pickup truck or an SUV or something.
Yeah.
And they have to get them out. And it's really not as exciting as it sounds.
No, it's really cheap.
They solve it in like 10 seconds, and then the movie's just freaking over. And I'm like, wow, I guess you threw all your fire budget in the opening of this movie, in the middle of this film, and at the end it's just like, here, tie this around you. Okay, I'll pull you out. And it's like, done. Like, what?
And then, marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah, so.
And then little dance party at the end. And then, blooper reel. Because you need the blooper reel.
That was when we were Nope. just got up, didn't make eye contact with the usher.
We walked past the usher like this. I was like, that's good, Brad. Don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
Don't let them know you've seen.
Don't judge us. Luckily, there was no usher there when we saw Arctic Dogs, probably because they thought no one was in the theater.
It was funny because like the grandparents and the kids are still staying down there, and we are just like hunched over, like just like this was flying around the corner.
This brings back things in a theatrical movie I hadn't seen in something like Bushwhacked. I'm talking like the comedy fisheye lens on people, like
my God,
with reaction shots, like, huh? What? Oh no, you didn't.
The long, awkward pauses, like the points where you feel like they're supposed, like it's just like, okay, we need to pause here because the kids are gonna lose their shit, and instead, like it's these long, awkward pauses, and it's nothing but crickets in the audience, just chirping.
It's an oddly silent movie.
It is
because it is shot. It's shot and paced like a sitcom. It looks like a sitcom. It has that kind of jokes. It pauses for a laugh track that's not there.
I've never seen. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie this bizarrely edited.
Same,
you
dude.
You need to show this to Ryan. I want his opinion. That guy edits for a living. I want him. I'm gonna get dug in on this too. I'm like, tell me about the editing in this film, guys. Like, because every single shot is either too long or, strangely enough, too short or nonsensically just cut together. Random, like, my favorite is like, okay, they must have needed something to cut to and had nothing because they will cut randomly to one of the kids and they just look stoned. Just, like a random 1.5 second clip of the little girl just, like, doing nothing. And I'm like, why? What was the point of that?
Or the dog.
Oh, my God. Okay, so you know a movie is bad.
Yeah.
When you get one animal reaction shot, you know it's bad when you get like maybe 2 in a movie or 3. I shit you not, I counted them. This one has at least 11. At least 11 reaction shots
of
from
the
dog.
Like the kid is climbing up on the shelf to get this paint thinner, and the dog's like.
The other times the dog's like,
yeah.
There was one shot and you just went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for the dog to be doing anything. And you're just like,
it was just like someone brings out a birthday cake and the dog's like, I guess they needed something to cut. Because that's another thing it does too. Dog shots and also sound effects, like comedy sound effects. There are a lot of scenes where Keegan-Michael Key pops up into frame.
And there's a whoosh, just a
whoosh, like it's going bananas with Dom DeLuise all of a sudden.
The tone of this movie is super weird because I thought it was just gonna be I thought it was just gonna be a bad like kind of kids comedy, but it's in its own magical realism universe where like John Cena like goes like he's covered in like, water or something. Yeah. So he goes to change his shirt and it's just one complete shot and he comes out completely dry, but it's been like 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I guess. I didn't realize this was that kind of movie where you could just do shit like that. Mm-hmm. And the whole movie is like that. I thought it was just going to be straightforward bad kids movie, but it's like, this is what kills me. Fucking studio did Dora the Explorer
which was a nice surprise.
And I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. This is like, there was this movie, Lauren, I saw last year that again, was a really good surprise. It was Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg, again, about this guy and coming with these 3 kids, kind of the same ages as in this movie, who are orphans, and then they grow to like each other over the movie. The trailers for that movie were kind of dumb, but Laura and I went to go see it, and it was actually really good. This movie is take how kind of bad those trailers were, multiply it by 100.
This movie
is strap yourself in.
This movie is 7 men and a few babies.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
so many like. John Cena looks. He looks one. Like he's computer generated, like for a PS4 game. Mm. His movements and every time that's a close up of his face, I'm like, I feel like I can make out the CGI. Like this is a cutscene from a PS4 game, but it was somewhere in the middle of it. I'm just like, man, he looks like a fucking ripped and jacked Ernest P. Worrell.
Once you said that in the theater, that was all I could see. Because I'm like, whoa, that is true, especially in a movie like this.
It was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
It was driving me nuts for half the movie. I'm like, what the hell does he look like? He looks like
Ernest
somebody.
plays with fire. Oh, dear. Oh, wait, hang on. Is this?
Yeah.
Usually that does it.
Yeah.
Even the
Really?
lights are like bailing on this movie.
So that was weird. There's like this. Yeah, I think he was my favorite character.
John Cena?
No, the guy with the beard.
Oh, that's
Who looks like the third member of Team Zod from Superman 2.
Do you know
and carries around an axe?
the casting in this movie is odd because that's Tyler Mane, who was Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, and whenever he talks in this, it's just him singing and his voice is dubbed, and I'm like, he's got more lines as Michael Myers than he did.
Well, he just grunts up until then. He's like,
yeah,
but he's clearly a serial killer.
Yeah,
hanging out with these firemen. Like that's he just hangs out in the background with that axe. But then
every scene he's got.
They have this running joke about like the little girl likes My Little Pony, so the firemen become obsessed with My Little Pony. So, there it is. John Leguizamo, brony confirmed, I guess, because he's like going on and on about it in the movie.
And when Tyler Mane finally does speak, it's when he comes into the room to pick up the little girl in an oddly shot sequence. Fisheye lens right close up.
It freaking turned into like a David Lynch film or a Terry Gilliam movie where like he sings My Little Pony with this like
this
operatic voice, grabs the little girl, it has like right in front of his face, and you get like this cut to him singing Fisheye lens, My Little Pony, and like the girl stoned off her ass like this. It looks like they must have just fed her just like a bucket of Ritalin because she's just like glassy eyed, just and it's like a super close-up and super weird, and I just remember turning to you, I'm like, what the hell are we watching?
Was that the point where the lady up front just went, what the?
No, that was some other, Was
that the part where suddenly it went into this slow-mo shot of the young girl, wind going through her hair under this parachute where for 30 seconds
it's
this
an
movie
art house film
is shot like a Terrence Malick film for 30 seconds out of nowhere, because the tone of this movie is crazy, because there's the fart joke in the trailer, which let me tell you this.
Go explain.
So the fart joke that you see in the trailer where the little girl is standing next to John Cena, she farts, and then it cuts to a reaction shot of him like, and Keegan-Michael Key going, there are so many fart jokes in this movie. That part in the trailer
was the prelude to the rest of the joke.
What that is in the trailer, exactly, because what that is in the trailer, that is actually cut together from 3 different fart jokes in the movie. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. And it is 3 separate jokes put together as one in the trailer.
And then that leads to an extended, hilarious diaper change sequence where he has to put on the whole fireman suit, and he's like, how can I still smell this? It's supposed to filter out nuclear particles. which leads to the one that I'm just like, I can't even believe they did that, but like all of a sudden just you hear this like, and like the inside of his mask just explodes with brown shit. And then Key's just like went up the hole in the and I just remember like some old lady way up in the front row just went, ew. Like she was offended, and I'm just like, I can't believe they went there. Like
it was the shit joke equivalent of when the rat got in the radiation suit in Hell of the Living Dead and blood sprayed all over.
And then cut to him scrubbing out his tongue with like a brush in the shower. Just I'm like, I can't freaking. I'm like,
our jaws were dropped. We were kind of silent after that happened. Like, so that happened, right?
We didn't talk for a good 10 minutes after that.
But
and we were pretty chatty during this.
What's crazy about though is what happens
shell-shocked by the shit to the face joke.
With all of these shit jokes in it, including the ones that we just mentioned. The one like in the bubble, she farts, later she farts again. Then there's the shit spraying in his face. Sandwiched in between all of them, and in between those as well, are dramatic monologues.
About how his dad's gone. Their
parents died.
Their parents died.
Yeah.
Still, I want to note that even if they didn't want to go back to DCFS, spoilers!
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
If they're so upset, I get that they don't want to go back to DCFS, but they make these firemen's lives a living hell, and I'm just like, you know, these guys saved your asses from a fire not less than 12 hours ago.
Yeah, like John Cena, you see a little of this in the trailer. John Cena jumps in to save them from burning to death, and as soon as he gets in there,
nothing, by the way, but a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking at it, I'm like, dead.
Yeah.
The temperature on that fire just going, he goes through this tiny hole. There's fire all around the hole. The whole house is on fire.
Yeah.
And he just goes in a shirt. None of the fire equipment. He has one helmet, one shirt, a pair of pants. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
When the most realistic fireman movie is The Trump Prophecy.
Oh, God.
Compared to this. And that movie's got a floating God orb in it. At least with that, I could say, well, I believe that guy thinks he saw a God orb.
He goes in, and then the three kids are just there. That should have told me right away told me how bad this was going to be. It's not like I demand high realism, but I'm at least put on a goddamn fireman's outfit.
Or when the kids also start, like, as soon, they are about to burn to death, and
they're behind the couch, and they look so disinterested.
They're like, they start actuallying him, and like getting in this semantics argument about him being a smoke jumper. Like,
the kid
can we
goes
finish this conversation outside?
The kid goes all like Sheldon on him with these 8 zillion facts about firefighters. I'm like, y'all gonna die. Like,
yeah. And then as soon as they get back to the fire station, they just instantly start giving him shit.
Right there, I was just like, oh, God. Like, I'm like, it's going to be that kind of movie. In the first minute where they, like, plop down, he's like, you do this thing, you do the other thing, you this, that, and this. And I just remember saying, like, this feels like the Zucker Brothers spoof of this type of movie.
Yeah.
Like this is already the spoof of this type of movie. I felt like I was watching the fireman equivalent of Hot Shots.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, had it gone for broke on that, maybe it could have been something funny. Like, but it's got that same sense of humor where it's like anything goes. Like, I thought this would still, like, be in a...
But this has, like...
a real universe of some sort. But
this has, like, unlike, like, Hot Shots and movies like... and movies like... This has, like... TGIF sitcom jokes through the whole thing.
God.
I mean, it's shot exactly like it.
You know what? Let's not do that to TGI.
Once in a while, they would get something good.
Yeah, they would get something funny.
Yeah. Once in a while, Sasha Mitchell would make me laugh on Step by Step.
I liked Perfect Strangers.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. When I started hating...
This movie could have benefited from a Balky.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Clearly, John Cena is Cousin Larry.
But as his character from The Langoliers being stuck with 3 kids in a fire
scaring the little girl.
When I started hating this movie, when I was sitting there going, okay,
that girl,
I hate this movie. No, it was when
she was driving me up a wall.
Oh, same. But like, no, when there was almost a funny joke, when there was almost one joke that worked, and it ruined it. John Cena has a love interest in this movie, and it's Judy Greer, because every person in this movie is above this movie. And so, right, the casting is surprisingly...
That's what I said. Did all of these people... Did the whole cast have kids? And they're just like, all right, I need that one movie that when they're just like, what do you do for a living, Daddy? Here, watch this. But if that were the case, if I were their kid, I'd be like, woof, Dad, fire your agent.
The oldest kid is Negasonic Teenage Warhead from the Deadpool movies.
She's 23. Yeah. You're a good kid. I'm like, kid? I'm like, she could legally be their guardians.
Yeah.
And she looks, and it's not like, oh, she looks like she's like 15, 16. I'm like, no, I'm like, she looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah. And I almost didn't recognize her at first because she is acting radically different than anything else I've seen her in. But there's a part in this movie where John Cena and Judy Greer, like, they're the love interests in the movie, and it's after this date they've had, and he gets her this present, and it does the Pretty Woman thing where he opens the box and, like, in Pretty Woman,
slams it back.
Yeah, puts the hand in, slams it, and Pretty Woman's like, oh! And so in this, he does that, but she's like, ow! God! And I was sitting there going...
I was laughing at that for a second.
Then it ruined it.
Because she's like, oh no, it's fine. And I'm like, why? I was like, that was legit funny. Like, it would have been great if she was
just
legit
kidding.
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was really like,
kidding.
ow! Oh God! And I'm like, all right, that was kind of funny. And it's like, just kidding, tee-hee-hee. And I'm like, ugh.
Oh, no. That was when I wanted to strangle this movie.
Oh, is that...
God.
No, that little girl with that, like, most annoying voice ever.
Down. Sit.
Down. Sit. And then they do this thing like, why is she crying? Why is she crying? And she's just in the background, literally, I'm not making this up, just going, ah, ah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
The whole arc in the movie is John Cena learning how to cry because his character's never cried before. And I'm sitting like, it would have been funny if his last line in the movie was, I now know why you cry. Just get all Terminator 2 on
He does
it.
have that look about him. I am living tissue of a metal endoskeleton designed to put out fires.
It's like, now this movie makes sense. It makes sense why he went in there without his shirt on in the
There's
fire.
so many like little things. My favorite, what's her face, Deadpool, the eldest daughter.
Yeah.
Like she's getting all emotional and she like wipes away a tear. Except there's no tear there because she's not even attempting to fake cry. Like her eyes are completely dry in the scene, and she just goes like. Just like, what did you wipe away?
Even when it cuts to Judy Greer at that one point, like post eye drops being put in. Sweet. Now the lights.
God.
The lights interested in what we're saying now. Yeah, it cuts to her eyes like she's fine. Cuts to somebody else. Cuts back to her in one of the many dramatic monologues in this movie about death between the fart jokes. There's a lot of crying in this movie for a movie that's not all that dramatic, and there's also a lot of rain in this movie, like it's Seven,
like it's or 1998 Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm so glad we saw this.
I feel like this movie is like one of the levels of hell in Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad this was.
This is the kind of movie where years ago I would have asked, like, hey, Irving and Brian, will you go see this while I go see, like, Pacific Rim?
This... I'm pretty agnostic about things, but this is the kind of movie that could make me an atheist.
Oh.
Proof Jesus died in vain. You know, all God wanted to do was give us his love.
Yeah.
And this is what we do with it.
Right.
Playing with fire.
We play with fire. They literally do that in the movie where when John Leguizamo's babysitting the kid, he takes the kid through the fire.
Oh, yeah, we're just like, this is safe.
Yeah, through whatever that was, that control fire test thing. I mean, I will say this. I guess there's something out there for everybody this weekend between this, Dr. Sleep, Midway, and Last Christmas.
I can't imagine sitting through this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine, because, like, I think a couple of the grandparents, this was not what they were thinking it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Like, particularly when they went, ew!
Ew! I like that they brought blankets, too. Did you notice that?
Yeah, they brought blankets.
In case we fall asleep during the film.
Wish I had done that. We have those recliner seats. It's hard to stay awake.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's... So I've had days over at that Regal where I've seen like 4 movies, and I remember when Laura and I were at... I mean, I'm used to that by now, but when you add comfortable seats in there, when it gets to the 4th movie, it doesn't matter how good the movie is or not. Like, the 4th movie for me a couple weeks ago was The Lighthouse, which is a great movie. Mm-hmm. But at that point, I was pretty tired, and I'm in this comfortable recliner. I'm like, oof, having to go refill this on some Mr. Pibb Extra.
Should have seen The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse is really good. There's very little... Well, actually, there is farting in that movie, but it's done way better than in this.
It's tasteful.
It was, yes.
Artistic.
If there's a tasteful fart movie out right now, it is The Lighthouse.
Oh, God, this movie. Watching Key try so hard and fail so hard.
Where they just his only direction had to have been just ad-lib something.
It felt like community college
Yeah.
theater improv.
Like, they literally have him saying, "Oh, no, she didn't," in some scenes.
Yeah.
And going, "You said what? What did you say? You want to, ooh, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do? What
Am I? And then he turns around and then, like, rubs his bald head. He's like, what am I going to...
Goes behind him so he can just put his hand on, like, a hot vent for no reason at one
Yeah.
point that's, like,
No!
7 feet away from him.
You know, and what kills me is I am a lover of good slapstick.
Totally.
So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, slapstick, it's the lowest form of humor. No, I
Yeah.
think slapstick's great. You get good stunts. I love Sam Raimi films. I love The Three Stooges. You and I
Totally.
both love The Great Race.
Oh, hell yeah.
I liked a lot of the old Zucker Brothers movies when they did slapstick. So this is hands down some of the worst fucking slapstick I've ever seen in my life. Makes the shit Doug and I do look like the fucking Godfather. It's terrible. When we're saying it's bottom of the barrel.
It is. I was mostly bored during Arctic Dogs. In this,
This was a train wreck. I couldn't tear my eyes away. This is where it becomes hard to judge, where I'm like, man, objectively, I think this is worse than Arctic Dogs, but this stuck out more, I'll tell you. Like, Arctic Dogs I've already forgotten about.
It's the 9 lives of this year. Like, it sticks out. It's a kind of bad that sticks out, and if you go see it, you're going to remember this shit.
The freaking kids and that dog and that every last one of them, except for Michael Myers. He was great.
Yeah, Michael Myers was good at this movie.
Probably because he had no lines.
Yeah, it's weird that he plays with more sharp objects in this film than he did in the Halloween movies. But, man, any final thoughts about the movie?
Save yourselves. And your souls.
I hope that this is I hope this is the main movie that we get asked about when we go to the convention this weekend.
God.
So playing with fire, huh? That's right. We were there, man.
Mine is a vicious, angry, vengeful god, and he is out to spite me. Between Arctic Dogs and this.
All right. Well, we get back like Sunday, I think. So next week I'll try to go see like Last Christmas and Midway on whatever the hell else is out.
What's Last Christmas?
That's the one with Emilia Clarke and Paul Feig directed. It looks like a Hallmark Christmas movie, but it's in theaters. Emma Thompson wrote it. You haven't gotten the trailer for that yet?
Oh, maybe I might check that out.
Yeah,
Might be able to see with my wife because she likes shitty Christmas movies.
I do too. It's that time of year.
I need something that I hope it's self-aware. If it's a little self-aware, it's just like, oh no, I know I'm making a shitty Christmas movie. I need something to wash the taste of this out of my mouth. Like that little girl shit that went up in this fucking mask.
Yeah.
Brown. I just can't believe it.
We'll leave you with that image.
The ultimate desperation of a joke. I'm like, wow, you had that many fart jokes. It's like, we're not desperate enough. Let's go nuclear.
Setup. Oh yeah, someone rigged that setup for that joke. That was maybe a fun day on set. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching.
Goodbye.
See ya.